Hey, it's Tina Forsyth here. So guess what? I screw up too. All the time, as a matter of fact. You know, it was funny, I was talking to a client of mine a few weeks back, and the conversation came up somehow, I think where I had shared something that didn't go right, or that I screwed up or whatever recently, and her comment to me was, oh my gosh, it's so nice to know that you screw up too. You know, because she said from the outside looking in, it looks like, you know, myself, my team, my business is totally smooth sailing or whatever, right? And I have to say I had to chuckle about that, because that is just, you know, yes, we have a pretty solid, you know, we have pretty good systems, we have pretty good flow, all of that kind of stuff. I mean, my business is not a chaotic mess by any means, and purposely so. But at the same time, we screw stuff up, like, all the time, from time to time. And I'm saying everything from, you know, a techie issue recently where somebody got double charged for something they purchased. Yikes, you know, and through to things like putting out an offer, promoting something, launching something, and nobody buys. Right? I mean, there's so many levels in business. There's so many times in business where things are not going to go as planned, where we essentially screw up, if you will. And I think it's really easy for some of us, that hit home for me when this client was sharing that with me, that it's easy for us to kind of look at everybody around us, look at other people around us and think, oh my gosh, they got it all figured out. It must be smooth sailing for them. You know, they must never mess up. It looks like everything they're doing, it works out great and so on. And then to turn that around on ourselves and be like, why can't I figure it out? Why do I keep screwing up? Why do I keep messing up and so on, right? Reality is everybody does. Everybody messes things up. Everybody screws things up. Everybody tries things that don't work. You know, this is just the reality of business. We're just not always seeing it, I guess is the thing, right? So here's what I want you to think about when you feel like you screw something up in your business, or if something falls apart or whatever that might be for you and or your team next time. First and foremost, do not take it personally, because you can't. Whether it's something you did personally or a member of your team did personally, you don't want it to become a personal thing. It's not that this person screwed up, right? It's just that something happened or something did not work out the way you planned it to, right? So you need to be able to kind of detach, quite often for ourselves too, as the leaders of our company. We need to kind of be able to detach from that a little bit. You know, if you send out a launch or a promotion for something and you're all excited about it and nobody's interested, right? You know, there could be marketing things and strategies and stuff to tweak and change, but sometimes there's just, you're going to try something and people aren't going to want it. That's the reality of it. You know, and honestly, guys, I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me. It really has. It's happened a number of times. And likewise, there's things that people obviously do want to purchase and buy from me, right? So that is going to happen. You can't take it personally. You can't get bogged down and upset by those things. Step number 2, when something gets screwed up, is to look at, okay, how can we fix it, right? First and foremost, who did this affect? So when we had that double charge go through, for example, this was about a month or so ago, I think, right? It was like, oh my gosh, okay, it affected a client and it was money-based. You know, how has this affected a client? You know, is there any money involved here? Those are the things you need to fix first and foremost. In that case, we went to the client and said, oh my gosh, this went through twice. We just want to let you know we're on it. We're going to take care of it, etc. We didn't know why it had happened yet, right? But we got back to the client and then we jumped on making sure that it was fixed, that one of the charges was reversed, right? So that's the first and foremost thing we did. We fixed it. We made sure that it was taken care of. Second to that, the third part of this process is, okay, how do we stop this from happening again? Right? And in particular, when things happen like a double payment. You know, in this case, which you guys might find quite amusing, we had something set up improperly in Infusionsoft. So given how much, the fact that we train people in Infusionsoft and work in it all the time and all that other kind of stuff, I'm sorry, we're not perfect. You know, there was a setup in one of our programs where it was set up improperly, 2 payments went through versus just the one. Oops, we fixed it. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. So, I mean, we figured out why this was messed up and we fixed it so it doesn't happen again next time, right? And I'll tell you, I mean, to me, one of the most wonderful things about a mistake or when something gets screwed up or whatever it is, you always have something to learn from it. There's always a system, there's always a strategy, there's always something you can use to grow to the next level. You know, and in particular when it comes to things like systems and such too, right? When things get messed up or they fall through the cracks or whatever it is, it's always an opportunity to look at it and say, okay, what system can we put in place to prevent this from happening next time? You know, what do we need to tweak? What do we need to change? But most importantly is just embrace the fact that we all screw up. You know, we really, really do. And if you're trying to put an expectation on yourself that you shouldn't screw up, or that it's wrong to have things, you know, mess up here and there and all of that, you need to let go of that. You really do, because you will suffer for it. Especially being an entrepreneur and running your own business, you will suffer for that, right? Because it happens to all of us. So I ain't perfect. Woohoo! Join the club. Yay! It's Tina Forsyth here. Until next time, take care. Bye now.